Welcome back. Okay, so we got 6 games in the books today. Now I did this a little bit unusual because, sure. So this is the first game of the night. This is the last game of the night. This was actually this morning. This is tonight. And then the other 4 games are on the second board. So did it a little bit different. I'm trying to find ways to use fewer boards and make it so that there's more I can do during the day and not necessarily the huge copious amounts of notes that aren't necessary that much. And yeah. So we'll start off with the New York Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers seem to do well when I use this logo on the review boards. No idea why. So it's Sorokin versus Hart in this one. Braun was held out. Clutterbuck was held out. Andy Green was out as well. So read the tea leaves. That means it's very likely Clutterbuck could be traded. Green could be traded. Braun could be traded as well. Braun's name's come up a lot. So we'll see if he does in fact get moved. Nelson has a rush chance that's saved and held. Wahlstrom with a net drive. Sorokin saves on that. Flyers get a power play. Tippett has a shot that's blocked. Good cycle on that power play, but we then get 27 seconds of 4-on-4. The Islanders get a power play. Everything gets killed off out of that. The shots are 3-2 for the Flyers at the half. Doesn't stay scoreless much longer than that. At 12:50, Sezika's on a turnover, puts it in the net. That was only the 4th shot of the game for the New York Islanders, but it's in. So Philadelphia had more shots. They were playing well, but Islanders get the first goal. Bellows has a shot blocked. Pulock fires one wide. McEwen's denied as the Flyers press, but after the first, it's 1-0 Islanders. Second period. Islanders press at 2.5 minutes. Eventually, the Flyers would tie the game, though. It's Hayes from Konechny and Farabee at 4:22, and that's on a turnover. Flyers then look for the lead. Sanheim has a chance that's blocked. The Islanders clear it out. We got a post for Tippett. So, yeah, in his debut, that would have been storybook, right? His storybook and goal didn't actually end up happening. Flyers get a power play. There's a shorthanded 2-on-1 that's defended. Chara would fire wide during that as well. That power play is killed off. It manages 2 shots. With 6:46 left, the Flyers go back to the power play. This time they score on it. It's Kevin Hayes. And it's one of those questions I've asked with the Flyers. If you have Kevin Hayes healthy all year, how many more games do they win? I'm not thinking they'd be anywhere near the playoffs, but I don't think they'd have a record as bad as the one they do. Farabee and Konechny with the assists on that one at 14:55, and the Flyers press with 2.5 minutes left. So coming out of the second period, they have a lead 2-1, and they're playing pretty well. Third period, that kind of continues. Flyers press, they draw a power play. It cycles. They don't really get anything close out of it. That power play's killed off. Tippett to Willman won't go. The ref you suck chants are going on already for a penalty they wanted called, and then there's a trip that takes place, and those chants turned into boos. So, doesn't happen. Aho with a chance that deflects out. There's a post for Beauvillier. JVR has a break that's denied by Sorokin. The shots are 9-5 Flyers with 6.5 minutes left. Willman has a net drive that's saved. They pull the goaltender with 2 minutes left with 51.1 seconds left. The Flyers, guilty of icing, but they do hold on. They win this one 2-1. They go to 20, 31, and 11, so they get to 20 wins. The Islanders drop to 26, 25, and 9. That close to being 3 games above 500. Instead, they drop back down to 1 game above 500. Your 3 stars in this one, Hayes, Konechny, and Sorokin. Your shots, 13-6 Philadelphia in the first, 13 apiece in the second, 11-8 Philadelphia in the third. Final shots, 37-27 for the Flyers. Your power plays, 0-1 for the Islanders, 1-4 for Philly. The hits, 19-12 for the Islanders. Sorokin saves 35 out of 37. Carter Hart, another good game for him. 26 saves on 27 shots. Again, Philadelphia, you got to find the positives. Carter Hart's been pretty good this year. Not Vezina level, obviously, but he's been pretty good. And that's at least something positive out of this season. All right, next up. The game that just finished. The Buffalo Sabres and the Vancouver Canucks. Right out of the gate, Vancouver doesn't start on time. This is frustratingly predictable. And again, this is what the team was doing under Travis Green. They had gotten out of that under Bruce Boudreau. It has come back into their game. It's Anderson versus Demko in this one. This is the 9th start in a row for Demko. He's playing a lot of games. And there's already discussions of whether or not Halak's happy. In between periods, they had Corey Hirsch on talking about how he wouldn't be surprised if Halak's willing to waive tomorrow to get out of Vancouver. I don't know that the market for Halak would be that high, though. I don't know that there'd be very many teams. Even if he was willing to waive the no movement clause, I don't know that there'd be that many teams calling. I think the Halak experiment just hasn't worked very well in Vancouver. So Middlestad scores in 1:50 from Olofsson and Miller. And the most alarming thing with this is it's the 4th shot of the game for Buffalo. Vancouver had none. Vancouver's coming off of a horrible game last night against Calgary. They want to, make people forget that. Tonight doesn't do that, especially at the start. Sabres then press for another. Boeser gets a shot. That was the only one that Vancouver had in the first 5 minutes. Sabres press at 7.5 minutes. Olofsson has a shot that's held. Colin Miller has a 101-mile-per-hour blast that's saved, but during that play, the Sabres end up getting a power play. It's killed off. The Canucks with a rush chance after. Cousins has a chance then that's kicked aside. Skinner nearly makes it 2-0. It's all Sabres when it comes to the really dangerous shots at that point in the game. Podkolzin was then denied. Patan has a shot that's held. The Canucks do press with 1.5 minutes left, and eventually, with 34.2 seconds left, they get themselves a power play. That rolls over into the second period. Hughes has a shot that's tipped wide. Power play is killed off. And then there's a post for Miller, or so we thought. So, John Shorthouse says he thought it was in. His spidey sense was tingling, as they say during these broadcasts. Things get scrummy after a Demko save, so we're going to a 4-on-4 situation. But yeah, when they review it, the puck was in. So at 2:31, before the penalties are called, Miller from Garland and Shen. So yes, if there's a goal that they notice, penalties still happen. Penalties do not come off the board if they're legit penalties, even if a whistle was supposed to sound before that. So the game's tied on the JT Miller goal. So the Sabres score, it's challenged for offside. I was kind of surprised they challenged it for offside. There wasn't a definitive angle showing that it was offside. And so it counts. Goal counts. The Sabres have a power play out of that. It's Skinner from Dahlin and Middlestad at 3:55. The shots are 4-3 for the Sabres at 8 minutes. The Canucks press. They draw themselves a power play. They score to tie it. It's Horvat from Miller and Hughes at 13:32. The Canucks coming into tonight are 19-0-1 when JT Miller has a multi-point game. They're now 19-0-2. Still haven't lost in regulation. Hugging breaks out after a whistle shortly after that. Boeser fires one wide. Last minute, there's a 2-pad stack by Demko on Girgensson, so you're going to see that on highlight reels. We go to the third period with this game tied at 2. Early press by the Canucks. Podkolzin can't bury one in close. Skinner has a net drive that's defended. Boeser's denied. Things get scrummy after that. Canucks press at 7 minutes. Cousins has a shot that's blocked at the half. The Sabres press with 8 minutes left. Hunt has a shot that's kicked out. 4:35 left. The Canucks get a power play. Horvat has a tip that's saved. The Sabres do kill that off. Miller, net crashes. Craig Anderson keeps it out of the net. We go to overtime. Sabres control on the face-off. Canucks never touch the puck. Just simple. They never touch the puck. And your game winner is Dahlin from Tuck and Thompson at 48 seconds. Buffalo comes into Vancouver and ruins the end of their homestand. So they go to 22, 23, and 8 with the 3-2 win. Vancouver drops to 30, 26, and 8. This is a 7-game homestand. They needed to win, I would say, 5 of the 7. They won 2. They go 2, 3, and 2 on the homestand. And my opinion going into tomorrow's deadline, sell. Sell. Just do what you got to do. This is a team that, again, this was a long homestand. I love Boeser. They did say, though, Alvin said today that they have until July to figure out what to do with the Boeser situation, but Garland may very well have played his last game in Vancouver, and there might be others. But I'm perfectly fine with this team selling at this point. Something has to give. The huge boost they got under Boudreau, that's gone. That being said, I need to change boards. Now, despite what I just said, doesn't mean Boeser doesn't get traded. Just means I don't think they're going to, based on the press conference today. But things can change. Dallas, boy, I tell you, if I had any hair to fall out, Dallas would make it happen. So it's Ottinger versus Vanacek in this one. Jake Ottinger really has been fantastic since coming back up from the minors. He was really cool with the fact that he got dispatched to the minors early in the year. Klingberg has, and Swayman's been cool about that in Boston too. Very lucky with the young goaltenders. Klingberg has an early chance that deflects out. There's early jump for the Stars, and they score, and it's Radulov who gets the goal from Lindell and Studenic at 2:17. Sadly, Radulov took a couple of penalties in this game too, and that's what's starting to concern me is the amount of penalties Radulov's had lately. Caps press at 3.5 minutes. Crossbar then for Klingberg. We get a power play for the Caps. That was killed off. 2 shots there. They had a nice Holtby tribute. It is just so sad that Holtby's not in net for Dallas for this tribute. He was there in a suit. As you may or may not know, I already did a video tonight on this, but Wedgwood's been traded to Dallas by Arizona, which tells me that Holtby's going to be out for a while. They are aware that they need to be able to play 2 goaltenders. They didn't feel confidence in Shield, clearly, because Ottinger keeps playing. So, Caps go back to the power play. Stars killed it off. It was a dangerous power play, though. Shots are 8 apiece with 6 minutes left. There's a near miss for Pavelski as the Stars press. With 2:45 left, the Stars get a power play. And they score on it. It's Hintz from Robertson and Pavelski at 17:55. It's scored on a rush, so it's not your traditional standard power play goal. Then there's a post for Studenic. Caps end up getting a power play with 1:17 left. I've really been happy with Studenic so far in Dallas. I think he's been good. And he did get that first point as a Dallas Star in this one. So it's 2-0 after the first. The most feared lead in hockey. Although I think the 3-0 lead is becoming just as feared as a 2-0 lead. So second period, Glendenning's denied and close. They do finish that kill. Caps, though, get another power play, and they score on it, because of course they do. Ovechkin scores his 40th of the year. It's the 770th overall. He ties Gretzky. That's his 12th 40-goal season, so that's the tops of all time. Carlson and Kuznetsov with the assists at 4 minutes and 53 seconds. Stars try to answer. Studenic can't bury a net drive. We get a power play for the Stars. They score on it, and it's Hintz again from Pavelski and Sagan at 10 minutes and 38 seconds. So Pavelski, he's been fantastic. Hintz has been excellent. Robertson's fantastic. It really has been the veterans that have let him down. It's been Ben, it's been Sagan, it's been Radulov. It's strange, because those guys, when you look at the pay scale, you'd think they should be the best players. But the Hintz, Pavelski, Robertson line is really driving things. I am aware Sagan gets the secondary assist on that one, though. Faxa fires one wide during a Stars press after that. They press again with 3:30 left. Backstrom puts one in the net after the whistle, and it was an offside. So you're not supposed to put the puck in the net after the whistle. He may not have heard it, but it drew a crowd. But we go to the third period with Dallas ahead 3-1, which, again, I have concerns about protecting leads when it comes to Dallas. This game doesn't assuade any of that. Caps had the early edge. Mantha with a rush chance. Lindell defends. The shots are 2-0 for the Caps at 5 minutes. It gets worse, though, because Kuznetsov's denied and close, and then Orlov blasts one on a rush chance from Wilson at 8:56, and then the Caps look to tie. Robertson was then denied and close. Things get punchy after that. 10:21 left. The Stars get a power play for goalie interference. Carlson's denied. Stars are in trouble. That power play didn't go anywhere. Shots are 11-2 for the Capitals with 5.5 minutes left. With 4:59 left, the Caps get their 5th power play. That's killed off. Goalie pull with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left, and I know Caps fans are upset with calls that weren't made. I will agree, there should have been a trip during that 5-on-4. It should probably have been a 5-on-3. I don't know why they didn't call it. And I'm watching the Dallas feed. The Dallas announcers, Daryl Ray, said, yeah, that should have been called. It's the guy with the puck gets hauled down. So, Ottinger holds with 54.8 seconds left. Ben flattens Carlson. I haven't heard anything about whether or not Department of Player Safety is coming in on that one. I get the brawl after that. I thought it was an unnecessary hit, but when I looked at that hit, I had flashbacks to the way that icings worked before we had the no-touch icing. Yeah, the hybrid/no-touch icing is so much better because we used to see that a lot in hockey. It's jarring now because we don't see it as much as we used to. Dallas, despite their best efforts, they hold on and they win 3-2. 34-24-3 is their record now. The Capitals have to be frustrated with the result, but they have to like the effort. 35-19-10 with the loss. Your 3 stars are Hintz, Ottinger, and Orlov, or who. And your shots, 11-9 Dallas in the first, 15-10 Washington in the second, 14-2 Washington in the third. Not kidding. I'm not being hyperbolic here. I thought Dallas was very fortunate to hold on to win this one. They're outshot 38-23 in the game. Power plays 2 for 3 for Dallas, 1 for 5 for Washington. Hits 32-20, I should say, for Washington. So they out-hit them badly as well. Ottinger saves 36 out of 38. That's why I got his jersey. Vanacek saves 20 out of 23 at the other end. So, yeah, thanks to Ottinger for stealing one. Okay, next up. Rangers. Or should I just need like a picture of Georgiev for this one, don't I? So, I can't prove that Shesterkin played tonight and he wore Georgiev's gear, but it's the thing that makes the most sense to me with this. Georgiev's had a rough year overall. He's had some good games. This was crazy. So it's him versus Anderson. D'Angelo back for the Canes, so you're expecting some offense here. Canes get an early power play. Svechnikov's denied. That's killed off. The shots are 3-1 for the Canes at 5 minutes. And it would actually be more lopsided for the Canes past that. Both goalies were sharp when tested. Teravainen has a rush chance that's saved. The Canes with the edge in play. The shots are 8-2 in their favor with 9.5 minutes left. There's no path to the net for the Rangers. The Canes are doing a very good job of blocking them out most of the game. Stepan with a rush chance against his former team. That was saved. Pressed by the Canes with 6.5 minutes left. The Rangers press back, but they don't get shots out of it. So they get the cycle, they get behind the net, and the Canes clear it out. Strong press. They end up getting a power play. The Canes do with 3:38 left. That's killed off. Strong penalty kill by the Rangers. Might have been the best aspect of their game tonight, other than their goaltending. Might have been the penalty kill for the Rangers. So second period, scoreless game. Pressed by the Canes at 2 minutes. Strome ends up hitting a post on a rush. Canes get a power play. That's killed off. We end up with 8 seconds of 4-on-4, and then the Rangers have the power play. Georgiev, put it right there. Georgiev's playing like Igor today. It felt like it was Shesterkin in net. Zibanejad fires one wide. Panarin did as well. There's some pushing and shoving with 5 minutes and 18 seconds left. They don't call anything out of that. Kreider opens the scoring from Trouba and Lafreniere at 15:39. So the Rangers are up 1-0. That was their 8th shot of the game. Carolina had 28. This was the most ridiculous game I think I've seen this year. I'm sure there are others that are close. Arizona, Toronto comes to mind. Winnipeg, Arizona too. Arizona, it might be an outlier. This just felt ridiculous. So the last minute, great saves by both goaltenders. It's 1-0 Rangers after 2. Third period. And I'm sure that in between periods, Rod Brindamore's message would have been, keep doing what you're doing, guys. You've outshot them 29-10 so far. Third period, Kotkaniemi's denied. The Canes press at 4.5 minutes. I put up here Georgiev's guilty of theft. I thought this was just ridiculous. The shots are 8-1 for Carolina 9 minutes into the period. Man, Shea has a chance to deflect wide, and HS fires high in a rush. The whole period looked like a Canes power play. It absolutely did. It felt like it really was. Now, as soon as I write that up, the Rangers did get a short press with 7.5 minutes left. I didn't see any opportunities, though, at the net in that. Anderson denied Hunt shortly after that was done. HS fires wide on a break with 1:17 left. The Canes call a timeout. So you're up to 6-on-5. That allows Vetrano to get his first goal as a Ranger. He hits the empty net from Zibanejad at 19:18. Good job, Frankie. Your final score is 2-0 in favor of the New York Rangers, who go to 39-18-5 with the win. Carolina 41-15-6. And so this is one of those four-point swings. All of a sudden, Carolina's spot at the top of the division, not quite as certain as it was, say, 2 weeks ago. So Carolina's got to, get things going. Although, Georgiev could have been all 3 stars today. Your 3 stars are Georgiev, Kreider, and Trouba. Your shots, 14-3 Carolina in the first, 15-7 Carolina in the second, 15-8 Carolina in the third. Final shots, 44-18 for the Canes. Power plays, New York Rangers 0-2, Carolina 0-3. Your hits, 39-16 for the Rangers because they never had the puck. That's why they out-hit them so badly. They never had the puck. Georgiev, 44 saves for his 7th career shutout, the first one this year. Huge applause for him. And Anderson saved 16 out of 17 in the loss. Not much more he can do. I mean, I guess you could try to blame him, but, he only allowed 1 goal. So, yeah, Georgiev, really good play by Georgiev today. Next up, Winnipeg. So the Jets have a better chance of making the playoffs right now than Vancouver. And with the result in Vancouver tonight, combined with this result, I think that's even more in focus. That may change the storyline of what Cheveldayoff does tomorrow. There are definitely some rumors and some ideas that maybe Kopp is going to end up going. They did get Appleton back in a trade tonight, so it's possible that we see Kopp get moved tomorrow. So it's Hellebuck versus Fleury in this one. The shots were 2-1 for the Hawks at 4 minutes. Near miss then for Scheifele. Morrissey has a chance to save. The Jets have the edge. Ehlers eventually opens the scoring. He gets a goal from Connor and Schmidt at 9:14. The Hawks would try to answer. The Hawks had a 3-on-2 that was defended. The Jets did press with 1.5 minutes left. It's 1-0 for Winnipeg after 1. Second period. Nice little flurry here for the Hawks in front of Fleury. Taves from Radish and Strome at 1:13. I said Taylor Radish, that Hawks fans would like Radish and Kachuk, and I think so far they have good reason to like both players. And then Strome scores from Kane and DeBrincat at 1:36. So all of a sudden, just like that, 23 seconds, they've scored twice. But the defense becomes an issue here. Harkins scores from DeMello and Kopp at 2:15. So that ties it up. Then Tkachuk nearly answers. He gets denied. Kurashev with a net drive, near miss on that. The shots, though, are 9-6 for the Hawks 7 minutes into this, so they're playing well. But at 11:13, Harkins gets the second goal in a row for him from Kopp and Svechnikov. So if Kopp gets traded, he got a couple of helpers today. I honestly, again, I'd be kind of surprised if they moved him, but stranger things have happened. Harkins was denied the hat trick bid shortly after that. With 3:11 left, the Jets get a power play. They score on it. It's Kyle Connor from Scheifele and Wheeler at 17:36. This was controversial. Chicago Blackhawks felt there should have been a whistle because Fleury was playing without a glove. This is not the first time we've seen this year. Famously, Demko played without a glove as well. There are other goaltenders, but there are also times where a goaltender loses his glove and immediately the referee blows the whistle. In this case, they didn't. And the Jets, seeing that he was without a glove, passed it over to his glove side. It's merciless, but it's the right call. He doesn't have a glove. Pass it over there. See if he can save it barehanded, and he can't. So the Jets press for another. Harkins goes to the bench in some discomfort. He would stay in the game, though. Morrissey would score from Scheifele and Connor at 19:36. 4 goals in a row for Winnipeg, starting with the Harkins one and ending with the Morrissey one, and it's 5-2 Winnipeg after 2. But to the credit of the new Blackhawks, they don't quit. Third period, the Jets 19-0-1 when leading after 2. The Hawks 2-26-3 when they're trailing after 2 periods. So a bit of a tough slog for Chicago so far this year. Strome can't bury one, but the Hawks end up getting a power play, and they score on it at 3:25. It's Radish on the power play from Kane and Strome. So Taylor Radish with a goal and an assist. And honestly, I thought he played really well today. Jets get a power play, though, 10 seconds later. So that's where, the discipline thing comes up here. Some pushing and shoving brings a whistle. That's killed off, though. Not the pushing and shoving. The power play's killed off. Jets have a 2-on-1. Harkins can't bury it as they were trying to get him the hat trick. And then Kurashev, on a rush, he scores from Lafferty and Seth Jones at 13 minutes. That makes it a 1-goal game. All of a sudden, it's not quite so certain. And it kind of reminded me of this one over here. Not quite as bad, but it did. So, goalie pull by the Hawks. Building's getting really loud at this point. It quiets down when Winnipeg hits the empty net. It's Wheeler from Kyle Connor at 18:57. The Jets win this one 6-4. They go to 29-24-10. For Chicago, they're 22-32-9. So again, Winnipeg's in the hunt for a playoff spot. It's still an outside chance for them, but they have a chance. So we'll see what they do tomorrow. 3 stars are Harkins, Scheifele, and Connor. Your shots 10-7 Winnipeg in the first, 17-13 Chicago in the second, 36-32 for Chicago in the third. Your hits, or power plays, I should say, 1 for 2 for Winnipeg, 1 for 1 for Chicago. Hits 22-20 for Winnipeg. Hellebuck saves 32 out of 36. Fleury saves 26 out of 31. The stats aren't flattering for Fleury. I thought he played all right. We'll see if this was his last game in Chicago if he gets traded tomorrow. Not all teams hold out players they think they're going to trade. A lot of teams do, but not all of them do. Last game to review is Arizona and San Jose. And this one was on at the same time as this one. This was a crazy game. This one was, it happened. It's a game that happened. There were, I assume, 18 skaters and goalies. And it was this thing that happened. Well, 18 skaters and 2 goalies. Yeah, I mean, you got 40 players. It's a game. So, Vejmelka versus Reimer. And on the first shot, San Jose goes ahead. So, it looked like we might see another 8-7 game. Bonino from Cogliano and Gregor at 20 seconds. Sharks press at 5.5 minutes. Sharks get a power play. Bonino's shot was blocked. That power play is killed off. Shots are 5 apiece with 8 minutes left. Bonino ends up hitting a post after the first period. It's only 1-0 for San Jose. And not a lot of great opportunities. And I'm surprised Bonino's not in the 3 stars because I would have had him there. Anyways, second period. Shots are 5-4 for the Sharks at 6.5 minutes. Ritchie was stirring things up at the Sharks' neck because that's what Nick Ritchie does. I would expect he probably gets traded tomorrow as well. Reedy with a wraparound chance that wouldn't go. We get a power play for the Sharks. That's killed off. Couture gets hit in the face with a puck. He's okay, though. Kessel ends up tying it, though, from Krause and Dineen at 18 minutes. And that was after a penalty kill, and it was a great play by Krause. So, honestly, Krause with a nice pass, and Kessel puts it in the net. Is that his last goal as a member of the Coyotes? We'll find out tomorrow. Third period, both defenses limiting chances. 4 minutes in, the shots are 1-0 for San Jose. This is going on at the same time as this game here. This game's crazy. This game is, it's a thing that happens. So, Coyotes not getting zone time. Hurdle has a rush chance that's fired wide. Dahlin exits. He took a puck to the mouth. Those are always kind of scary. Power play for the Sharks. That's killed off. Near miss for Gregor. There's a too many men on the ice call. That gets a power play for the Coyotes. And it was funny because the San Jose players on the ice realized he shouldn't be there. And the puck kind of hits him as he's trying to go off the ice. So, technically, he was in the play. It's too many men on the ice. And they score on that power play. It's Krause from Kessel and Gostisbehere at 15:09. All of a sudden, Arizona's ahead. They do not get time to enjoy it. What rude hosts the San Jose Sharks are. So, first it's Meyer from Barabanov and Magna at 15:38. Barabanov's name started to get out there in the trade wins as well. That's a one-timer and in. And then less than a minute later, Gregor, who's had a rough year, he scores from Couture at 16:15. There's a goalie pull with 1:38 left. The Coyotes call a timeout. Doesn't matter. On a turnover, Rudolph Balcers gives San Jose the 2-goal lead at 19 minutes and 10 seconds. And so with 4 goals in the last 5 minutes, it makes this game look like there was a lot more of a game going on than I saw. Your final score is 4-2 for San Jose. They go to 27, 27, and 8, back to NHL 500. For Arizona, 20, 38, and 4 with the loss, and they fall out of the second or third row, I should say, on the power rankings board. Shucks. And yeah, the Canucks take a bit of a dive today in the power rankings board too. 3 stars are Gregor, Reimer, and Kessel. The shots, 7-6 Arizona in the first, 8 apiece in the second, 15-10 San Jose in the third. Final shots 29-25 for the Sharks. It was a much better game in the third than in the first and second. Power plays, 1 for 2 for Arizona, 0 for 3 for San Jose. Hits, 22-20 for San Jose. Vejmelka saves 25 out of 28. He's sticking around as Wedgwood's been traded. Reimer, 23 saves on 25 shots. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.